Hi, I'm Jada Underwood, and my presentation is titled Underwood, and then using person centered therapy and CBT. So, in this role play session, me and my partner Liliana, um, I was the therapist, and she got to play the role of a young athlete who was just struggling with performance and confidence in regards to basketball. And throughout this presentation, I will explain some of the tools and techniques that I use to reflect or to help her in this counseling session. And we'll just reflect on the overall experience. So here's the video of our group video and my individual video, which I'll also be sure to paste in the recording and within the assignment. So, in regards to our CBT techniques, like I mentioned, I use a combination of both strategies. And TBT, it focuses on thoughts, feelings, and behaviors and how it's connected. It helps clients notice those negative thoughts and it challenges them and gets them to replace those negative behaviors for more positive. And I think the biggest thing is realistic behaviors. And so I'm going to dive into those specific techniques that we implemented or that I got the chance to implement within our role playing. And so we're first going to start off with deepening the emotional reflection. And at this time, um, it was regarding trying to validate the young athlete and then create normalization. And so at 43 seconds within my presentation, um, I use a reflection of feeling by acknowledging that something felt off regarding the client. And I could tell that something was bothering her regarding her performance. And so the client felt understood and she opened that door for deeper conversation. And then also at the 112 marker, I reflected deeper by identifying the client's disappointment and not just her frustration. And this allowed the client to kind of explore those feelings more fully. And then another thing that we got to incorporate was identifying the negative thoughts. So the client's thought specifically was that she sucked or she was trash. Those are the words she used. And specifically, this is at 4:05. I use that CBT technique to identify the client's automatic negative thoughts by asking what was going through her mind when she missed those shots. And this increased the awareness of the negative self talk. In regards to challenging thoughts, was another strategy or technique that we implemented in regards to CBT. And that is, sorry, I can't see my little time. I can't see my timestamp. At 5:20, I began challenging the client's negative thoughts by asking them what makes that belief that I suck true. And this kind of began the process of encouraging the critical evaluation of her thoughts. And then at 6:48, I facilitated this cognitive reframing by helping the client replace the "I suck" with "I messed up," right? But I'm still a good player, which kind of created a more advanced and constructive thought. I think another thing that was really important was, excuse me, the client being able to identify um, the evidence, right? The balanced thinking at 6:19, right? We got the chance to help guide the client to examine both sides of the evidence of, what do your coaches think? What do the players think about you? And that helped them recognize that their negative belief was not entirely correct, right? They got to examine evidence at 5:56 with, oh, the coach thinks I'm reliable, right? My teammates continually pass me the ball. And so that served as an opportunity to introduce them to to create an alternative perspective, and then it provided counter evidence. um, Next slide. And so, in regards to, before we hit scaling, I just want to talk about the coping strategy. So at 707, we hit this opportunity of next play, right? And so we introduced this practical coping strategy for our athlete by encouraging them to have this next play mindset and to be able to refoster quickly, and to stay focused during their performance, right? So we introduced this idea of reframing their thoughts, um, to be, oh, that was just a bad play, but I'm still a good player, right? To create something a little bit more constructive. And then lastly, for scaling, at seven, sorry, I'm trying to look at this time. At 7:24, we used scaling, which helped us increase awareness. And so she got to see that when she first came in. We asked her, "What do you like? How much do you believe that you suck?" And it was like 8 to 9. And then after the session, after we finished everything and kind of implemented some of those tools and techniques, and we got to really have evidence of her performance, right? Of what people thought and what was reality, what was more realistic. We got to see that, in regards to scaling, she felt a 5, right? Which was tremendous progress within the session. Sorry, I skipped this slide. Okay, and then in regard to our person-centered techniques, we have empathy plus understanding, active listening, reflection of feelings, and building trust in a safe space. This person-centered therapy focuses on making the client feel safe, understanding, and not being judged. It uses empathy and listening to help the client open up and feel comfortable. I think one of the biggest things is at the beginning of the session, we got to remind the client that she feels off and at that 1 minute mark. And there were also opportunities in regarding to empathy, specifically at our marker of 150, right? She understood, right? I'm sorry. I just demonstrated the empathy of acknowledging how difficult it is to know that you're capable of performing a certain way and not doing that, which helped validate the client's experience. And then also throughout the session, at the beginning, I got the chance to remind her that this is something that athletes go through, right? Don't feel ashamed because you're not the only athlete that has gone through something like this. And so that helps build that rapport and that empathy, which all center around that person-centered skill, those person-centered skills. Okay, so moving on to my self-reflection. Um, so I'm gonna kind of do this in two parts. So as a client, um, and I can't really reflect in that sense because I wasn't the client, but um, I think when I got to play the client within my partner's video, um, knowing some of the strategies that she was implementing and seeing how, oh, it actually does feel effective and create an opportunity for me to voice some of my struggles and self-doubts, it truly did feel like a safe space where I was being heard and not judged. And just seeing these strategies in play, I got to kind of understand and notice validation and empathy, and how that can help people open up a little bit better. And then I think regarding my specific case study, just seeing how powerful self talk is. I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned throughout this course: the power in negative self talk and positive self talk. And I just truly see how effective CBT can be, um, when you're intentional about the questions you're asking as a counselor. And it truly helped me understand that combining some of the skills um, could be way better than just sticking with one tool and technique, right? Like building that rapport and then combining those realistic thinking strategies so clients can really really challenge their thinking. It definitely is proven to be effective. And this, I'm sorry, this is a little off topic, but this activity was actually one of my favorites because role playing and having to write the script, it truly showed me again like the importance of the tools and techniques, and like how again building that comfortability with the client, even us acting this out, right, as the session went on and we were more engaged and asking questions, it just felt more natural, right? And so creating that space was awesome. And then lastly, in conclusion, right, these sessions show how that CBT and that person-centered therapy, um, sorry, click the next slide, how they, again, like I've been saying, help build rapport and then create this emotional safety, while these CBT techniques truly help address negative thinking and they improve your confidence. And so overall, this experience showed me how strong your thoughts can be and how that it can affect your performance. And so in order for us to be successful, right, we have to make sure that our clients develop healthier ways of thinking, and if they can change their mindset, they can change their lives.